This is Reno, and today we're doing calculus parametric curves. A professor asked me how to do this problem, so I have it posted on YouTube. So here it is. So x of t equals 4t and y of t equals 5 ln the secant of t from 0 to pi over 3. So how do we do this? So first we take the derivative of 4t respect to dx dt equals 4, dy dt equals 5 over secant t times the derivative of the inside, which is secant t times tangent t. Secant can cancel, it will be just 5 tangent t. Now you have the formula L equals integral from a to b square root of dx dt squared plus dy dt squared dt. Applying the formula, you get L equals 0 to pi over 3 square root of 16 plus 25 tangent squared dt. So how do we do this? So what you can do is you let u equals tangent t, du equals secant squared dt. So I have one problem though. We don't have secant squared dt. So what do? We can multiply by 1. So multiplying by 1, we get secant squared t times secant squared t. And you notice that 1 plus tangent squared is equal to secant squared t. Now you get integral of square root of 16 plus 25u squared over 1 plus u squared du. Now we have to do another u substitution. So we have u equals 4/5 tangent x to get rid of that square root. We also know that we used u already, so we got to use a different variable, and I'm using x. So tangent inverse of 5 5u over 4 is equal to x. So now, in respect of x, you get du is equal to 4/5 secant square x dx. Now you plug in 4/5 tangent x where you see u, you get integral of that times the du, which is 4/5 secant square x. Now we can simplify. She noticed 25 and the 5 cancels, 5 square, so you get 16 plus 16 tangent square x times 4/5 secant square x, 1 plus 16 25 tangent square x. Now you simplify a bit more, you get 16. As you see here, 16 can come out. Square root of 16 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16 over 5. You get 16 over 5. Now that's just 1 plus tangent square times secant square x dx. 1 plus 16, 25 tangent square. So we combine like terms. 1 plus tangent square is secant square x. Square root of secant square x is secant times secant square x is secant cube x. Combine like terms, you get 25 plus 16 tangent square x over 25. Now you can flip it. When you flip it, you get 80 on the side. Integral of secant cube x over 25 plus 16 tangent square x. So what do you do after that? What we can do is we can multiply by 1. Cosine 4 to the x and cosine 4 to the x dx. You get 80. Integral of cosine x over 25 cosine 4 to the x plus 16 sine square x cosine square x dx. So we also note that 1 minus sine square equals cosine square x. As you notice, if you let u equal sine x, you get cosine x dx on the top. So let's see that. First we simplify. Cosine x equals 25, 1 minus sine square x plus 16 sine square x, 1 minus sine square x. And now simplify even more. When you simplify, you should get cosine x 9 sine to the 4x minus 34 sine square x plus 25. Now you can let p equals sine x. So dp equals cosine x dx. I said u, but let's use p this time since we had used u already. Now, once you integrate, you're gonna be 9p to the 4 minus 34p squared plus 25. Now you can separate them factors pretty easily at 9p squared minus 25 times p squared minus 1. Now this difference of squares is 3p minus 5, 3 plus p plus 5, p minus 1, p plus 1 dp. Now we have the partial fraction. As you can see here. So I kind of took a shortcut here. I didn't want to do all the mess with algebra, and there is a shortcut how to do this. So let me show you the first step, and you guys can pause the video and try it on your own. So if I let p equals -1, I pretty much cover this. So -1 minus 1 is -2. -3 minus 5 is -8. So -2 times -8 is 16. So 16 times 2 is 32. So 80 over 32 is 5/2. If you pause the videos and try it with the other ones, you should get -5/2, 9/2, and -9/2 for C and D. Now continue. Let me go back to that one just to make sure. So you get see, now you get p equals 1. Obviously, to make this 0, you cover it up. That's 2 times -1, right? 2 times -1 is -2. -2 times 2 times p equals -1. P equals 1. Okay. So this is p equals 1. So that's 2 times -2, which will give you what? -4. Yes. -4 plus times 8 will give you 32, -32, right? So 80 over -32 will give you -5/2. And you guys can see you can do that with the rest, and you can get the answers. So you integrate. Obviously, they're just constants. 5/2. All the numbers are constant, so we just integrate. You get 5/2 ln of p plus 1. Pretty easy integration here. -5 over 2 ln of p absolute value p minus 1 plus, as you can see here, you get 1/3 times 9/2 becomes 3/2. ln of 3 minus 5 minus 3/2. ln of 3 plus 5 absolute value. Don't forget the absolute value. Now we go back to our from the beginning when we do our u sub. So 5 ln of sine tangent inverse of 5 u over 4 plus 1 minus. So how did I get that? So first of all, I use sine for p, as you see here. And what did I use for sine? For x. So go back. X is equal to tangent inverse of 5 over u. Now we get that. We just plug back in everything from p. You get that as your answer. Now you keep in mind that we have to use our trig identities. What is tangent? Tangent is opposite over adjacent, so 5u over 4. So what is sine? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. It's 5u over square root of 25u squared plus 16. So you get that, replacing sine, tangent, and inverse. As you can see, just plug it back in. You get the answer. Now, what u is? So what did we let u equal to? If we go back from the original equation, we let u equals tangent t. So now we plug tangent u where u is, we plug tangent t. And now we just gotta plug in the limits, pi over 3 to 0. So tangent of pi over 3 is root 3. And then you get square root of 91 on the bottom. 25 times 3, 75, plus 16 is 91, square root of that. Now just plug in the numbers. And as you can see, I put minus 0 because it's gonna change to 0. I'm gonna show you how I did that. You can see this is 5 over 2. Just kind of erased it. 5 over 2 ln of 1 minus 5 over 2 ln of negative absolute value negative 1. They turn into 0 plus 3 half of ln of absolute value negative 5 minus 3 half and negative 5. They subtract each other, so that turns into 0. So that becomes 0. So your final answer is just whatever pi over 3 is when you plug in the limits.